guys? Wade from 7 p.m. prayer on New Year's Eve. A little early, pretty cold here in Missouri right now too. But I wanted to talk to you guys. I'm not one that typically puts a lot into New Year's Day resolutions. I try to set my resolutions when they kind of hit me throughout the year and start moving on them. But I don't know. This year I feel kind of like it's appropriate, and so I wanted to talk to you guys before going into the new year. And I wanted to get a couple of things, a couple of points over today. The first one is just, what would it look like if next year you made yourself indispensable to God? You know, it's interesting how in different situations in life we'll see people make themselves indispensable to a football team or to a corporation, to a family. That happens quite regularly. But when you really get to thinking about it, and this is one of the tricks I think we get played on us by the devil, is that somehow we're not important. We're not a big deal. There's plenty of us out there, and what you do doesn't really matter. And that's just not true. The fact of the matter is that there are over 8 billion people on the planet, and there's only one you. And you haven't ever existed in the past on this planet as you, and you won't exist as you in the future. There'll never be another one like you. So it doesn't get any more unique than you or I. It's kind of amazing some of the ways in which God demonstrates that to us through creation. Think about your fingerprint. Think about your eyeball. The very fact that some of the most important technologies we have out there, like fingerprinting for criminals, or it seems as though going forward in the future, they're going to be using lots of retina scanning and things like that to differentiate us as people. So this can only happen because of how unique we are. So I want us, you and me, to think about going into this year and to think about what could we do as our unique self to make ourselves indispensable to God. Now, there's a tendency, particularly as Americans, to think that that means we have to do something really big, something really important, something that gets a lot of attention, probably something that makes a lot of money, right? But we all know when we just, squeeze it down to Jesus, that wasn't the issue as far as what Jesus looked at as being remarkable. It's remarkable in this day and age for people just to show kindnesses to each other, for people just to get up and do the best they can at what it is they're doing, and do it with an eye towards God. So realize that God is going to make you a rule over a lot as soon as you've demonstrated that you can be a ruler over a little. And a little can start out, like I said, as just being and showing kindnesses to those around you. But whatever it is for you, however big or small, or however big or small you deem it to be, the point is, relative to what you see as your role in the body of Christ, how could you make yourself indispensable? How could you make it to where God would say, we can't lose that one. He's really important. So I'm thinking on this myself, as to my roles and responsibilities in life and how I can love God with all my heart and how I can love my neighbor as myself, and how I can use that to affect change in this world for God. And so, this video I'm making right now is one way I can do that. So pray about that. And it's important, because if you just sit and try to think it through, at any given moment when we're just thinking something through using our own ideas, we're basing everything and our answers on our level of wisdom. And like I've said before in these videos, sometimes our wisdom's good and sometimes it's not. But God's wisdom's always good. It's always dialed in, it's always right. So if you're looking at his wisdom, you're going to make the right decision. If you ask him how he can make you indispensable for him this year, wouldn't he answer that in a way that would be constructive for you? You know he would. So do it. Find out how this can be a different year. So easy to put God off. So easy, because he doesn't demand us to turn to him. There's a lot of things in life, a lot of people in life that demand a lot from us. God's not one of them. He doesn't force us to be on his team. It's a choice we make. So you are the unique you on this planet, and you have a chance to be indispensable to God next year. What could you do to make that happen? Seek that out. Have God show you. The second thing I want to ask you to do is just to, in getting started more towards the definition of this channel, which is prayer, I want us all to pray that we get through New Year's Eve and New Year's Day without any kind of weird thing happening that's going to show up in the news. And, it's sometimes amazing to me that more doesn't happen than does. It's a demonstration that God is out there working towards and for us. But the bottom line is there is a spiritual battle going on. And there's real change in the air in this world. And if an easy step for you and I to take right now is just to pray in earnest for good, for our leadership, for our planet, for our family, for those you care about. And if you can do it at 7 p.m. prayer with me, then we're just taking all of our power and combining it just like the Bible tells us to. So again, when we talk about the fear of the Lord, that doesn't mean we go around scared to death of God. It means that we take what he says and we apply it because we have a genuine respect and acknowledge the fact that he knows more than we do. And we recognize that he has the power to do things, and that is an awesome and fearful thing. So we've been told that if we'll pray together, it makes a difference, that it's like a symbiotic thing. It's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's 1 + 1 = a whole lot more. So join me at 7 p.m. tonight and pray over the issues of the world. We're praying specifically for the next couple of days to go by without a bunch of, anything strange happening. But remember, every night I'm praying at 7 p.m. And I'm going to start giving you things to pray specifically about with me at 7 p.m. And if you'll show up, that's one step towards making you indispensable. I appreciate you, and I'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight, hopefully, in our prayers.